All right, well, we've been waiting for it, guys. We've been waiting since December to get our hands on the Dr. Fauci files. And it all, of course, started back when Elon Musk had tweeted out this: "My pronouns are prosecute and Fauci," is what he said back on December 11th, 2022. That's when he went on and said that. And we said, whoa, are they about to drop? This was amidst all of the other big Fauci files, the Twitter files that were about to drop and were dropping at that time. We got to see about censorship. We knew about the censorship industrial complex that was unfolding. Like, what did that all look like? But we had to wait. We kept waiting. We kept waiting. We kept waiting. We were wondering if we were ever going to get it. Well, now, Paul D. Thacker, who is a journalist, former investigator, U.S. Senate, former Safra Ethics Center at Harvard. Here is the journalist who has now got his hands on the Fauci files and is now releasing the first tranche of the Fauci files.
Do you think this is the first, or do you think there will be more?
First of more, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see what's here. Because this is breaking during our show, we're going through it with you. So there may be stuff that we haven't had the opportunity to dig further into. But let's go through it together because it's time.
Yes.
It's go time, folks.
All right, so let's start. Twitter files, Fauci Pharma files. Last December, Elon Musk sent out this viral tweet about Dr. Fauci. Fauci then went on Fox News and said he had no clue what Elon was talking about. "I have no idea what he's talking about," he said. Number two, "A lot of people are spouting out a lot of things about me and Twitter," Fauci told Fox News. "I've never had a Twitter account. I don't intend having a Twitter account. I've had nothing to do with Twitter, so I don't know what they're talking about when they say that."
All right. And number three, he said Fauci made similar claims during multiple exchanges, including this 7-hour deposition where he denied using Twitter or even knowing how to access the tweet. We went over this deposition. I think it was in response to the suit by the two attorneys generals in
Indiana?
I don't think it was in Indiana. I think it was Iowa? Alabama and Missouri, I believe, are the two
Missouri, yes.
States that were accusing the Biden administration of censoring information about COVID. I believe this is the deposition, but I've seen him say this several times.
So number four, but an internal Twitter report in March 2021, the company revealed Dr. Anthony Fauci did have an account takeover for WHO COVID response. It says this runs contrary to Fauci's public statements and sworn deposition given on November 23rd, 2022. So this is the report here, if we click it open, saying that he did an account takeover. So what that means is, you take over someone's account and you tweet from them and you answer questions for a period of time. So when did that happen? He did that. Does it say when?
It says February 4th, I believe.
Where do you see that?
Right up there. It says White House task force
on
with
February
3 key COVID
4th.
health experts on.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So is that of 2021? We're supposed to assume, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah. Now, according to this tweet, Fauci took over the White House COVID response account again on April 2021.
Yeah, it says Fauci will take over this Twitter account. Number 6, Fauci was beloved by Twitter 1.0. I guess we're talking about Twitter 1.0 as pre-Elon Musk Twitter. Elon Musk's tweet last December, he tweeted that former employees had an internal Slack channel unironically called Fauci Fan Club. Okay.
Number 7, Attorney General Angela Schuer, who left when Musk sought to buy Twitter, praised Fauci as
not Attorney General, just an attorney.
Attorney, sorry. Praised him as the leading trusted voice about COVID-19 response in the United States. So this is inside of Twitter.
So here's her email. I guess, yes, calling him that. Angela Schuer, she's an internal Twitter lawyer, was no small fry at Twitter. According to a deposition by FBI agent Elvis Chan, Schuer was one of the attorneys he interfaced with on disinformation at Twitter. Here's the deposition of Elvis Chan saying, does anyone else at Twitter who would participate in meetings that related to malign foreign influence or disinformation. This is Elvis Chan responding, yes, on the attorney side, they regularly had several security councils attend, and the senior official at the time of the 2020 elections was Angela Shearer, but she's no longer with the company.
Twitter didn't just rely on the voices of prominent physicians like Fauci. Oddly enough, they also worked with big pharma companies and pharmacy chains to shape vaccine marketing campaigns. In December 2020, Twitter announced that they would begin removing and labeling tweets that contain vaccine misinformation, especially concerning COVID-19 vaccines.
So that was the headline of their announcement on December of 2020. During that same time, Twitter began working with Johnson & Johnson on COVID-19 vaccine marketing strategy and with CVS Pharmacy to promote approved narratives. So what's highlighted here?
So they pitched CVS on tactics to expand distribution of upcoming One Step Closer vaccine campaigns, currently awaiting feedback, awaiting more details from Johnson & Johnson's messaging strategy following the approval of their vaccine. So Twitter was actively working with these big pharma companies and on strategy, on marketing strategy.
To promote the vaccine.
And to promote these approved narratives about it.
All right. By the summer of 2021, Johnson & Johnson began a full court press to market a ton of their products on Twitter, including a controversial antidepressant. And here's the lead. Johnson & Johnson takes to Twitter to expand its network of storytelling patients. Number 13. Is this towards the end?
Much thanks to Texas Lindsay, who have collected and organized Twitter files. We read and read until our eyes bleed. More to come. All
okay.
Right.
So, and then he says this Harvard epidemiologist and statistician at Harvard is suing the federal government for colluding with social media companies on censorship, saying Twitter should be a place for people to exchange ideas without information. So that seems it. So if you go down, it says tomorrow at 9, there will be more. You can set yourself a reminder. And I clicked that. So what do we know then? Let's try and let's go over this. We know then that Fauci did have interaction with Twitter. Is that a bombshell? I don't know. Like, he said he never used Twitter in a deposition, and he did for these events.
Yeah.
But in a takeover like that, he's probably got staff sitting next to him that are running it. They're probably typing everything in. He's not sitting there typing and all that. He might have been present, but I don't think, like these celebrities that do these Q&As, they just sit there and somebody feeds them the questions, they answer, and somebody's like fast typing it like a stenographer for them.
I don't think that's a big gotcha.
I don't see that as anything. No.
Yeah. And the fact that, he said many times in the deposition, I don't engage with Twitter. Like, that doesn't mean he knows how to reply or tag somebody or thread a tweet or anything like that. So,
for me, I was going to say the damning part for me in my mind was the part where Twitter is actually reading these emails and stuff, and they're saying we want to create a narrative. If anybody tells me they want to create a narrative, whether it's a marketing company or whatever, that's trying to change the way people think, right? You are trying to manipulate people. That just is code for that. So the fact that, Twitter was in on that, they would have known that that's what they were doing by letting these marketing campaigns happen on their platform.
Right. Well, you should be free to buy whatever advertising you want to do your own marketing on Twitter within reason. But why is Twitter giving them marketing services? Why is Twitter acting as an extension of Johnson & Johnson's marketing arm? This, incidentally, is one of the first times we've heard much about Johnson & Johnson. Most of the information we've seen thus far has been about Pfizer and a little bit of Moderna. And yes, why were so many high-level lawyers involved in discussing, this part about FBI agent Elvis Chan? Well, that usually he was related to the Hunter Biden laptop. So I'm not sure what that has to do with COVID, other than the fact that this high-level attorney who was working with the FBI to maybe censor Hunter Biden type stuff also just was a big fan of Fauci.
Right.
Those are the connections I think we're supposed to make.
Yeah, and this is not maybe as big of a bombshell drop that I thought we were going to see in the first batch of this. Maybe they're sort of going in with like, I don't know, bated breath.
I don't know. I feel like the Slack channel shows collusion. It shows like collusion between the people that were big, huge Fauci fans, and everything he said is gold. Like everything he says is the narrative. So we've got this channel. So we're going to look at the things that people are saying against Fauci, and that's going to come down. So it shows collusion between Twitter, and then you got the FBI agent in there. You've got the pharmaceutical industry in there. So it's a bunch of collusion.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically what they're pointing out.
Again, the FBI agent is not in relationship to COVID, as far as we've seen so far, because Elvis Chan was really instrumental in censoring the Hunter Biden story. But I don't think he has much to do with COVID. Maybe we haven't seen it yet. Maybe we will. What were you going to say, Philip?
I was going to say that I find it interesting the timing of it being Johnson & Johnson, because you're saying we hadn't heard much about Johnson & Johnson. But that was mid-April 21 is when they said that, right?
Yeah.
Was when that was from?
Yeah.
Isn't that right around when Johnson & Johnson was pulled from the shelves because they knew there were issues with it, and then they re-released it? But it's like that was so like at the time they knew something was wrong with it. They're getting ready to pull it off the shelves, and they're pushing Twitter to promote it. I just find that the timing of that to be interesting.
Yeah, it was summer when they had those problems, and of course I remember that morning when all the breaking news was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with Johnson & Johnson?" And then they're like, "No, we got to fix everything. Everything should be fine." And then now it's gone, totally pulled off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that, Twitter announced they would begin removing and labeling tweets that contain vaccine misinformation based on what? This is where, like, I want to get to, deeper into this too, like based on what? What is the misinformation? And of course, if Fauci is their lifeline, if he's the guy, the people on Fauci's staff were sort of given golden son status by the internal attorneys at the Twitter saying, yeah, he's the golden boy. Let's listen to everything that Fauci has to say. And then anything that goes against what they're telling us, we're going to yank their tweets down and label them misinformation.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was him and the pharmaceutical industry that were guiding the WHO, the CDC, and the government through Fauci. I mean, all of that came through Fauci.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, let us know if we missed anything that was a bigger bombshell than what we have seen here, but we will continue to follow this. And make sure you keep up with the newsletter.
I mean, a lot of the big headlines about it are that Fauci did, in fact, use a Twitter account despite public statements and sworn depositions saying that he didn't. Okay. So that seems to be, to me, there's other pieces of this that are bigger, but that seems to be what the headlines are taking away from this first tranche of documents dumped from Twitter. So let us know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.